Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Carolyn, and welcome to Get Your Life. I keep telling you, this is the show where we help you get your life by talking to some amazing guests that are doing what they do and being who they are. And today I have an awesome guest. Dr. Michelle Singh is with us. We're going to learn all about education, technology, and AI. So let's welcome Dr. Michelle Singh.
Hey. Thank you so much, Dr. Carolyn, for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I love to see great people doing great things. So before we get into what you do, well, just tell us what you do and currently, what are you doing now?
Yes. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Michelle Shanda Singh. I'm an educator, I'm a speaker, and I'm an author. Former Miami-Dade County Public Schools teacher for 15 years.
Wow.
Education consultant. I have a consulting business and I support teachers.
Okay.
Helping them to teach their students more culturally responsive, more innovative, as well as more supportive in their well-being. And I also support women because a lot of teachers are women.
Yes.
A lot of leaders are women.
Yes.
A lot of women create. And so if you're a woman who leads, who creates, and who teaches, we are so used to producing.
Yes.
We are so used to performing.
Yes.
We are so used to perfecting.
Yes.
I have lived that life. And so
Me too.
there is a part of the work that I do where I create a space for women like that, because that's the space that I needed myself when I was stuck in the rut. And it's just a space to pause and to be present and to not have to perform the way that we have been doing in our lives. So yes, that's the work that I do. I am a teacher, I am a speaker, I am an author, I am just a supporter of the work of humanity.
Amen. We need that. The encouragers need encouragement too. The doers need somebody to help do for them. So how did you get into the, you say you 15 years, you were a teacher. So I think I kind of already heard the answer. You said you created a space that you needed yourself. So tell me what characteristics, what kind of skill set, what is about you that makes that a good fit for you?
I would say everything that I do is grounded in my core values. And the characteristics are my core values, the foundation of what I stand on. And being someone who is not from the United States originally, I'm originally from Jamaica.
Right.
And, coming up here in this whole new big world, being in the public school system, completely different, going through all of the things, the bullying, being made fun of for being different, being multicultural, being a half Indian, half Black girl growing up in an all Indian family, struggling with identity. All of those things I have learned over all of these decades. I have done, a lot of deep searching.
Wow.
And I have learned that the things that I have functioned on, that have been my solid ground all my life, why I care so much about the work that I do, which is working with people, being a teacher in every kind of the way, is because I'm grounded in empathy. Because I wanted people to have empathy for me.
Right.
I'm grounded in excellence because I do things in the spirit of excellence.
Yes.
Right.
And we're culturally taught. If somebody else tells me you're a strong Black woman, that's what we're taught.
What other way is there when you are an immigrant and you are a first generation everything?
Wow.
What other way is there but to be excellent, but to be that example, but to do well, go to college, get a career? Like, you have no other option. And so empathy, excellence, and equity have always been my pillars. Because I have always wanted a playing field that was leveled. I have always wanted fairness. I have always wanted justice.
Yes.
And so I think those are the characteristics that have grounded me and have grounded all of the work that I do, not just in teaching, but there's also a part of my work. My part of my work is the integration of education, emerging technology, and well-being. I am at the intersection of all
love
three.
that, because we need all of those. And just to go back on your upbringing, was that stressful as a first everything?
Oh,
is everybody else standing on your shoulders to be great?
So, of course, at the time, I don't know it's stressful because I'm just performing and being a perfectionist, and I'm just producing, and I'm just doing and doing and doing. And so I realized I spent like the majority of my life in survival mode.
Right.
Because I had just been doing to get the scholarship, to go to college, to get the career, to move up in the career, and just to constantly perform and outperform. Yes. And so, of course, it took me to get into my 40s to actually pause, to take a step back and look back and say, okay, these are the things that I did. This is the pattern, and this is why. And this is why I cannot continue.
Right.
And then this is why I need to create a space to help those that I see in that same trap so that they don't do it to themselves.
Right. And what I love about this is spiritually, we say God works everything together for our good.
Oh, yes.
And you don't understand when you're going through it because it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't.
And it hurts and it's stressful. But now I'm listening to you, even though you had to go through all of those things, you have a story, you have experiences to share with other immigrants, to share with other women, to share with other perfectionists, to share with other go-getters. And I think, I'm telling my audience, I think this is what makes you exceptional at what you do, because as educators, as teachers, as educated women, we can give information. But for me, what drives it home is when you have experienced it and you can talk from that.
Yeah, and I think the storytelling part is critical, because we could talk about our experience, and we could talk about how how it's all pretty and rainbows and flowers and this is what happened at the end. I did graduate. I did do that. But you never see what it took to get there, like what's underneath all of that. And I think the storytelling piece that I've been learning and that I have been embracing is talk about those things. Talk about the things that made you feel shame, that made you feel hurt, because those are the things that honestly people resonate with, because they're silently going through it too. And so for you, it takes courage.
Yes, it does.
And it takes care to actually speak about those things, because you never know who you're going to help. You never know whose transformation is behind your own pain and your own story. And so I actually went on a healing journey myself in the past couple of years, and there were things from my past that I had never spoken of, never ever spoken of. And I actually released those things. And I did it in podcast form, because for me, that was part of my healing journey. And I was shocked and surprised at the feedback that I got from people I hadn't talked to in decades. Like, Michelle, you helped me to, like, it was incredible.
We do the same stuff. It's like we don't talk about it. And that's another thing. Culturally, we don't talk about what we go through. We don't talk about what's happening in the house. We don't talk about our hurts and our pains and our challenges. But like you said, your purpose, your life is on assignment. Somebody's life is tied to your assignment, and we have to talk more about that. So that's why I'm so happy that you're on the show. And I could do a whole nother show about just these
those things.
Just those things. But I want you to get into the technology part, because I hear so many negative things about like technology and AI and how we spend too much time on it. Is making our brain cells lessen, as well as it's making us more envious of stuff that's not true. Like, you look at people's lives and they look so perfect, and then it's like, oh, they're getting a divorce. So really, mentally, it's messing you up because you thought you were looking at true things, but you're really not. So how can we use technology and engage with it with wisdom and discernment?
Yeah, okay. So I think that the way that you approach technology, and there's so many different forms of technology. You got the social media, you got the AI, you got like the technology tools. I mean, there's just so many aspects of it. But whichever form you're using, there's two things that are very important for me to approach it.
Okay.
And that is with curiosity and that's with caution.
Oh, I like that.
Curiosity and caution.
CNC.
And so when I'm thinking about wisdom and discernment and how to approach anything with discernment and with wisdom, curiosity comes up.
Okay.
Because curiosity makes me ask questions.
Yes.
Curiosity makes me explore and experiment, and it doesn't make me avoid or reject. And I know that when things are unfamiliar. I know when there are new shiny things happening. Yes. I know that sometimes we want to ignore or we want to just run straight at it and don't even think about what's all inside of it.
That's right.
And so we have to really approach any kind of tech with that curiosity by asking deeper questions and with caution, because there is always a cost.
Yes, it is.
So and I don't mean money cost.
Right. Even
that too, but
even the time cost that you're going to spend scrolling and getting to into other media and technology that you could be using to do something else, to build your mind or to exercise your body or to have a connection with a friend. So
to connect, and the curiosity piece, like, I know that the social media portrays this, this view of people because they only post the good things, just like we were talking about, right? They use the filters and whatnot, and so you only see the pretty parts of life.
Yes, I like that.
That's a part of that curiosity,
right? Like
you have to question that. You have to question yourself. Like if you are scrolling, and this happens to all of us, because as an entrepreneur, I am connected with lots of other entrepreneurs, and I'll see them doing things, and I'm like, I feel a little bit like, why am I not doing that? Like that's just natural,
right.
And so I have to pause and I have to question, like, why did I think that?
Right. Why did you think that? Why did you feel like that?
Why did I feel like that? Why did I think that? And what would it look like to approach that differently, to not question it, but to be happy for the person, because I trust that God is going to provide for me when my time is right. And so that's what I mean about curiosity. Those human feelings going to come up, but we have to pause and we have to be curious about ourselves and about the thing, to question it, to come back.
Right. And I like what you said, too, about the pause, because we live in a culture and we live in a society where we're always striving to be more. We're always striving to be better. It's like we're in a competition on a wheel, always trying to beat the next person or get the newest thing. Yeah. And then, as you were saying, we'll start talking about ourselves. Why aren't we doing this? Yes. Or why are we falling behind? We should have this many followers or this many subscribers or this many reels. Yeah. And you will drive yourself crazy.
Yep. You will, and you'll lose focus. You will lose focus of your purpose and your goals, because here you are comparing comparison.
It will kill.
It will kill
your purpose.
It is a thief.
Yes. Yes.
And so you have to, recenter and refocus back to
that.
Your purpose, your why, your goals, your grounding, your core values.
I like
and
that.
when you go back to that, your why, like always remember, when you go back to that, then you can, okay, I am here. The next opportunity is going to be provided.
Right.
Like you just
whatever
have to,
is for you is for you. So you don't have to force yourself. And you're so right, because even as entrepreneurs, even doing this show, doing anything great or out the box or different, you have to stay focused. And when it doesn't work out and it's not going as you think it should go, or the world says it should go, you need that why to keep you centered. You need that why to keep you going straight and functioning towards what you want, because you can get stuck in a hole. You can go round and round and round and never.
Yep. But then there's another thing that I learned too, is just because you don't think that you are doing enough, or even that you're enough, doesn't mean that whatever you're doing is not enough for the person that needs it.
Right. I like that. that.
Right? Like, you know, we Black women, we function at 150%.
Yes.
We do things on a higher level.
Yes.
We never go for the 100. Right? And so our 50% is somebody else's 100%.
Yes. You are absolutely right.
But we don't know that because we are so hard on ourselves.
We're hard on ourselves, but it's also ingrained in us that we always have to be better. We always have to do more. And so I like this space that just says, hey, you're doing way more than you ever think you're doing.
Yeah. And you just, you know, you don't have to always be performing. It's okay to take that mask off.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you always have to be on. Like, I would just say even, and I'm getting off topic.
I know, we really are.
We need 2 shows. But I was going to say just in how we dress, just in how we present ourselves. It's like we always have to be on. The outfit have to be right. The hair have to be right. It have to be slicked down. And that's a lot.
It is a lot. And so remember I said that I created the place for myself that I needed. And I created because I know what it feels like. You know what to always be on.
Yes.
And so even if it's for a few hours every few months, there is a space for women like us to turn off.
I love it.
And be amongst each other.
I love it. Yeah, we need it. We need it. So let me get back on task with the technology. But people need to hear this. It just didn't come out of anywhere. So I've also heard that technology can make us disconnected. Sometimes when I look at my son, he's scrolling, and parents are like, you don't talk to us. You're not eating with us because they're eating with the phone or they're scrolling. So how can we better use technology in good ways to help us accomplish just the things we were talking about, the things that we need to stop and rest and pause?
So I know that people see the kids on the games, the video games, and isolated. They're not going outside.
Right.
The idea is that technology can disconnect us, but I don't believe that. I believe that technology, when used with intention, can connect us in a different way. When I was in the classroom, technology connected my students and me to other classrooms around the globe, into countries that we didn't even know existed, right? So technology has the power to connect, but just with like anything else, you gotta be, you have to use it with intention. Right. You have to be thoughtful about how you use it. You have to be, I keep going back to being curious and being cautious. You have to you have to use it in those ways. I have used technology as someone who is a creative. My brain is constantly on. I'll be up in the middle of the night with all these ideas in my head, and I will use, I will get up at 2:00 in the morning and I will go sit down, grab my phone, start talking.
Me too.
And just to get it out.
You got to get it out your head.
And what I do, that helps me to, it creates clarity for me.
Yeah.
So technology has the power to help you to become clearer.
Okay, I like that.
Right? Technology also has the power to help you do things with courage.
Right.
I use technology heavily for reflection because reflection is a powerful way for me to grow. It's a way for me to address mindsets. It's a way for me to just address my limitations, the things that my blind spots. It's really a way for me to examine myself, and it takes courage to do that. But God. Technology helps me to do that.
Right. And I so agree. Like sometimes you have to really look at what narrative, again, it goes back to your mindset, stopping and pausing. And sometimes instead of saying it's losing connections or it's making us distant, I too feel like that because I remember when my mom was sick during COVID, and I actually joined a group on Facebook that also had parents that were ill. And so that gave me somebody to talk to and someone to understand some things that they were going through. And it took the focus off of me and the woe is me and what I'm not getting to spend time with my mom, to see other people going through it, and to have more appreciation of the time, the minutes, the days. So I do feel like that was another connection. And I also feel like with this podcast, I'm going to say the people that come on, this is millions of dollars of information, millions of dollars of connections, millions of dollars of insight, activities, and things that people can get from that and actually connect through it.
Yeah, definitely. The technology also, like you said, can have that aspect of care too. As an educator, I teach virtually. I teach in person. And one of the greatest compliments that I can get from my students is when they tell me that you made me feel seen. Ooh. You made me feel heard. You made me feel valued. You made me feel like I was a part of this learning community. And technology helps, especially in the virtual setting, even in the in-person setting. But it helps to create that. The AI, it helps to create those experiences when used with intention, when used with caution, when used with care. We really have to be careful with how we use it, and we have to be cautious, and we have to use it for a purpose, because one of the things that I talk about when I do my trainings, I do workshops around AI for teachers and emerging entrepreneurs. One of the things I talk about is, AI, it learns from all of the data that's out there that was created by human beings. Right. We know the kind of people we got in these United States.
Okay, we got a little bit of
imagine
everything.
The kind of people you got in this world. So imagine the data that it's pulling from. Right. Just like we have blind spots and biases, and it's going to have those things also, because it's learning from those data sets. Right. So when you are engaging and experimenting with AI, you have to look for those things, because it is not going to be right.
It is. I say all the time, it's not. It reminds me, before we started airing, we talked about back in the day when I was teaching Wikipedia, and people wanted to use that for research, and as it's like, no, because anybody can put stuff in there. So you really, even with AI, you have to look at what you get, and then still go check it out and make sure that it's real, it's true, it's relevant.
Well, and you have to do that. You have to have content knowledge. Like, you gotta, don't be using the AI if you don't know the topic that you're searching. Listen, if you are not a therapist, if you are not a doctor, do not be out here trying to give people advice for stuff that you got off of AI, because you don't have the content knowledge to actually check to make sure this information is accurate, because it will give you inaccurate information. It'll give you information that's out of context, and that you won't even see it because you don't have that content knowledge or contextual knowledge. So that's the first thing. Stay in your lane. Okay? That's the first thing. And I also think that, with the AI, there's also a cost. There are ethical costs. There's environmental costs that are affecting Black and Brown communities. And as I am being more curious about AI use, because when it came out, child, I was all over it. I was trying every tool, trying to learn all of these tools, because for me, learning about it was great for my business, because I wanted to teach other people to help them to be more productive. And what I didn't realize was I needed to be asking the right questions. Because while we out here, generating all of these pictures with these, nice dresses and videos that don't even look like us, first of all, we don't realize the cost on certain communities with the data centers and what's happening behind that. And I'm learning more about that, about the actual cost of what all this takes and the impact that it has, especially on Black and Brown communities.
Right. And then you have to think about who's behind it, who's putting all the information out there, because some companies may have agendas. Some companies may be pushing their agendas. So of course, if it's a conglomerate of data, then is their data more prevalent than our data? You know, are their voices more heard than our voices?
But that's the importance of knowing your content. Like as a teacher, as an educator, if I am looking for examples, so this actually just happened. I was looking for an example for one of my classes just for a scenario. I was developing scenarios, and it was about behavior management. And the example it gave me was, this student constantly interrupts the teacher, talks over the teacher, is a class clown. Guess what name it gave the student?
What?
Jamal.
I was going to say Jamal.
And so as a professional in the field,
you think Jamal is a young black child?
That too. And so the descriptions that it has of this misbehavior of the child, it could have been Josh.
Right.
But it didn't give me Josh. It gave me Jamal.
Or it could have gave you Jose.
Because of what it is learning from, the misinformation, the biases of what everyone of all of the data that it's learning from. And so if you are not checking, you are going to ultimately perpetuate that information and share that misinformation. And then you are also adding to the stereotypes that are out there.
And it's the truth. And sadly, as Black people, we even have to think about when people have kids, it's like, I don't know if you want to name your child that, because then they're already going to stereotype you. And as a person that has served on human resource committees, they look at certain names. No, I don't know about that one. And so they are also receiving that information about Jamal and about Marquita or whoever.
Yeah.
And then once you see it, you have to make a conscious effort.
You do have to be very, very conscious about it. Yeah, that's why you got to use it intentionally and thoughtfully, because, it is going to give you information that's good, but it's also going to give you information that's skewed and that's biased, and that you got to really look up and think about, one of the things that I'm really cautious about is deficit language when describing people of color, children of color.
Yes.
And I look for those things when they're talking about students who are second language learners or students with disabilities or Black and brown students, because that deficit language is in everything. And that data, the AI is learning from that.
Yes,
it will repeat that.
Yes,
and if I, as a professional, an expert in my field, if I don't catch it, then that's something wrong with me. I am not doing my job. I am not ethically doing my job.
Right. And then sadly, with the time that educators have, sometimes they're doing the best they can with what they have in a short period of time. So you have to make a conscious effort to include some time for that. So in saying that, how can I use technology to keep me sane? What kind of tools? What is out there that can help my life get easier?
Well, so there's quite a few things I would say to keep you sane. There are different apps. There's the Calm app. That's a pretty common one. That one helps with, having the calming music and the sounds. Of course, this is not a tech. It's a tech tool, but it's not an AI per se tool. But there's the Bible app, and so when I go on my phone, I got my verse.
I love it.
Just in terms of if I am looking for tools that's going to help me to maintain my peace and be present. These are just some things. Like when I open up my phone, I see on my home screen, I see the Bible app, I see my affirmations, and of course I see my agenda.
Yes. And I'm trying to get my screen to come up because I too, that is something on it, like my Bible app, it gives me the verse. But then even as I used to have like flowers and stuff on my lock screen, but now I have a verse, Matthew 6:33, to seek God first and everything, because the world is crazy and there's some crazy things that come up, and all I have to do, my phone can be on lock and I see something that brings me.
It pops
Yes.
That's exact. So I actually, you can adjust your phone screensaver so that you land on that as soon as I open my phone,
just gives you peace.
That's the first thing I see for sure. But yeah, there are lots of apps and tools. I will say, so Calm helps. There's one called Headspace, which is similar to Calm, and Insight Timer. But the thing, I don't like talking specifically about tools because there's so many tools out there. What I like talking about is the purpose of the tools.
Okay.
And so the purpose, what I look for in tools is, does it help me to do the thing that I need to be doing right now?
Got it.
Does it help me to recenter myself? Like if I need to just take a moment just to be quiet, but I need to, close my eyes and I need to hear, like for me, sitting on my porch, hearing the rain,
I love it.
It's soothing.
To me too.
Hearing the birds chirp,
to me
it's soothing. And so if I have an app that can give me those sounds when I need a moment to pause, then I will turn that on.
I like that.
Another thing that I do a lot is reflection. And so if I have an app or if I have a technology tool, whether it's AI, I use AI a lot because I can actually speak to the AI and tell it everything that I'm thinking, feeling, and then it will actually generate reflection questions to help me examine what it is that's happening. Like I've had situations, we all face rejection where I didn't get, a grant, or I didn't get this position, or didn't get this opportunity, and rejection hurts.
It does.
It stings.
It does.
And so as you're I'm learning to sit with the emotions, not cover it up, not ignore it, because in order to get in front of it, you have to sit with it.
Right.
And so in order for me to sit with something and feel it, I have to question it. I have to be curious about it. And so I use the AI to help me be curious about it. So I'll tell it, and then I'll say, ask me questions to help me examine why this is affecting me in the way that it is. And it will ask me questions, and I will journal and answer those questions.
And then another thing, now I'm learning how to use AI, because I would say when we don't, as entrepreneurs, you put in for stuff and you don't get it, what can I learn from this?
Exactly.
How can I refocus? How can I retool? Yeah.
So that is something else that I do after I have an event, after I do a lesson, whatever I have done in my business, I always reflect after. And so what I do is I'll go in, press the little button, go right there, press the little button, start. So my event was today. A lot of people told me this, but I also noticed when I was teaching that this happened and these things happened. And here's where I really felt the most energized. I want to reflect to make my next event better. Ask me questions that will help me to develop a stronger event next time.
I love that.
I will, and it will ask me questions.
And I have never done that. Now, I do that personally. I do that with God. Okay, what do you want me to learn? What can I do better? And then I write or I speak to the voice memo. But I have never used AI for that.
And there's another tool. So when I'm talking about speaking to it, I'm speaking specifically of ChatGPT.
Right.
There's another AI tool that I use called Perplexity. Perplexity is great when you are looking to learn more for research. And I know I said I wasn't going to talk about tools, but these are my go-to tools. And so if I want to learn more about a topic, as a researcher, as someone who's written a dissertation, old school research is not what it is now.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
And so if you are looking for a way to just get quick research, you can use Perplexity. I can ask it a question what's the latest research out there about the environmental and ethical impacts of AI? And it will
search me hours.
Right, exactly. And it will link sources and it will respond.
I love that.
And you can visit the sources that it links to verify if those are sources that you will actually trust.
Yes, because I used to have to do all that by hand, get into those little databases.
going to the libraries, looking through the journals.
Oh,
listen, when I talk about old school research, like this one has helped me to save time, but it has also pointed me in the direction of sources that I would actually use and trust.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Man, that could have saved me and helped me get my life and not be stressed out when I was doing my dissertation too.
Yes.
Well, I told you this time was going to go so fast.
Oh, it sure did.
So I want you to let our audience know, what do you have coming up and how they can reach you?
Absolutely. So thank you again for having me, everybody. It's nice to meet your audience.
Yes.
You can connect with me directly. It's super easy. It is connectwithmichelle.com. So that's Michelle with 2 L's. So connectwithmichelle.com. That's how to reach me. And I have, remember that space that I told you that I created for the space that I needed, and I created the space for women. That happens every quarter here in Miami. I live in Homestead, y'all. So I try to do things within a good driving range because I do not like to drive past Kendall.
Oh my goodness.
So let me just put that out there real quick. So it is local to the South people. Yeah. The people who live South. If you don't live South, you are welcome to come, but we need stuff down here too. We really do. But it is called Rooted and Ready, and it is a space for you to come, pause, be present, not perform, not perfect, just for you to be in community with other women who are high functioning, who are purposeful, and who are just dynamic, right? And so you can find out about that at rootedandreadyevents.com. The next event is March 31st, 6:30 p.m. in Pinecrest.
All right. Well, again, I'm Dr. Carolyn Edwards. This is Get Your Life. Thank you to Dr. Michelle Singh. Remember that you can get the podcast on YouTube at Dr. Carolyn Edwards. You can also get the audio of the podcast on all your podcast platforms. And remember, in a world where you can be anything, the best thing you can be is you. Until next time.
I know it gets hard to find the light sometimes. It feels easier to hold on to what's been keeping you down. You were made to fly so now.